Hello and welcome to Derby City News. I'm Rachel Ford, and thank you for joining us for another Derby City News profile. We have with us Jamie Comer. Jamie is currently serving in the Kentucky House of Representatives, and he is running for Commissioner of Agriculture. Jamie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, good. I would imagine that you've been all over the state of Kentucky. Why don't you share with me how your campaign is going?
I think it's going exceptionally well. We started November 10th officially, but prior to that I spent 6 weeks traveling the state, meeting with key agricultural and Republican leaders around the state just to make sure that the support was there and to make sure that the fundraising ability was there. And we concluded that I can win. I can win in May and can win in November. So I filed November 10th, and it's just been a whirlwind tour of Kentucky ever since. I'm putting about 1,200 miles a week on my vehicle. And I think my phone bill said 3,000 minutes last month on the phone.
Oh, wow.
So I'm working very hard, and the people of Kentucky have been very receptive to me.
Okay, well, good. But your bio on your website mentions that you went away to college, and then after college you returned to work on the family farm.
Right.
But very often that doesn't happen. A lot of times kids will go away to college, and they tend to abandon the ideas and the lifestyle in which they were raised. What inspired you to come back home and maintain the legacy of your family?
Well, I have a unique background. My father was a dentist. He graduated from the University of Louisville. I tell people in Louisville I have the distinction of being the only Louisville Cardinal fan in Monroe County. I grew up watching Denny Crum and the Louisville Cardinals, so I've become a Louisville fan. I love the Cardinals, and I was at the game last week when they beat Pittsburgh in overtime. Great game. But he was a dentist. My grandfather was in the construction business. I had an opportunity to go to dental school. I could have gone in the construction business. I could have gone to law school. But I love agriculture. I love the land. I love Monroe County. I love rural America. And I decided when I was in college to major in agriculture and return home and manage the family farming operation, and then start my own farming operation, my own businesses, and that's what I've done, and I don't regret it at all. It's been a great experience. We love raising our children in Monroe County. We love going to church each Sunday in Monroe County, and we just love the rural surroundings in Monroe County. 10 years ago, the opportunity came available to run for state representative. There was an incumbent in office that I thought wasn't as effective a leader as maybe we deserved in our area. I filed in the primary. I won the primary and was unopposed in the general election in November. I've been unopposed ever since, and I'm in my 6th term. But being a state representative is a part-time job. We like to call it citizen legislator. So I stay in Monroe County and have raised my family in Monroe County, and we love it there.
So I would like you to share with me, what are the responsibilities of an agriculture commissioner?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say agriculture is the most important industry in the nation, in the world, and in Kentucky. And it's an industry very important to me, not just because it's the industry I'm involved in, but it's something I have just such a deep appreciation for. I tell people, especially farm groups and agricultural groups, when I'm traveling the state, that I look at being ag commissioner like Kentucky fans look at the UK head basketball coaching job. You know, Gillespie didn't think it was any different than any other coaching job, but Patino and Calipari and Joe B. Hall and Rupp, they all understood being coach of the University of Kentucky Wildcats is a special position. And as someone in agriculture, I view being agriculture commissioner as special because I view it as you're the leader of the agriculture industry in Kentucky, and you're the spokesman for the agriculture industry in Kentucky. And I take those responsibilities very seriously. In agriculture, we're under assault from extremists. The environmental regulations, the overburdensome regulations that have been handed down on our farms over the last few years, especially with the Obama administration, have just been excessive and overburdensome. And we need an ag commissioner with a strong ag background, like I have, with legislative experience, that is well-spoken, that can go and defend our industry. We in agriculture spend too much time on defense, and we need to spend more time on offense, telling about the good things that we do, how we provide the world's safest and best food, how we're over $4 billion industry in Kentucky. And those are the things I want to do as Ag Commissioner. In addition to being the leader and the spokesman for the industry, Ag Commissioner has a huge regulatory role. They have a huge public protection role. We all travel around and see the gas pumps, the Commissioner of Agriculture and the Department of Agriculture. Of course, the current Commissioner is Richie Farmer. His name's on all the gas pumps. The Department of Ag has a fuel testing lab. They make sure when you're buying premium gasoline that you're getting premium gasoline. They make sure when you're buying a gallon of gasoline, you're getting a gallon of gasoline. They are also in charge of weights and measurements. When you go to the store and you buy a pound of ham, they make sure you're getting a pound of ham and make sure you're getting your money's worth. They regulate the feed industry in Kentucky, make sure that the feed is what you're getting. If it's supposed to be 14% protein, they make sure that's 14% protein. If you're buying a 50-pound bag of feed, make sure it's 50 pounds. They're in charge of all the pesticides. If you have Terminex or whoever comes spray your house, that's regulated by the Department of Agriculture. They regulate all the amusement rides in Kentucky. That's all falls under the Department of Agriculture.
What I was wondering is, what conservative values could you bring to the table as the Ag Commissioner, which, like I said, you kind of already touched a little bit on that already.
Right. Well, I am conservative. Ideologically, I'm very conservative. I have a 10-year voting record to prove my conservatism. I did receive a Tea Party award in Northern Kentucky a few months ago. I was named the Northern Kentucky well, it wasn't the Northern Kentucky Tea Parties hosted it. There were some tea parties around Camelsville that were involved. There were about 5 tea parties, and they gave me the Legislator of the Year award. So I was very honored to get that. But one of the big things that I'm talking about that's exciting people in the Tea Party is transparency. And I want to take the Department of Agriculture, when I'm commissioner, and make that budget completely transparent. As a state representative, a lot of the Republicans have tried to pass legislation which would require every state agency to be transparent. And by that I mean list every expense online so the taxpayers can see where their money's being spent. But to me, it's a no-brainer. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to hire anyone to do it. The software's there. We can't get that passed in the Kentucky House of Representatives. So what I want to do as a conservative Commissioner of Agriculture, I want to go in there and set the example for how a government agency should be run by a conservative. And we're going to be completely transparent. We're going to list every single penny of expense, and it's about a $29 million budget. We're going to put that online so the taxpayers will know how every single penny of their tax dollars are being spent. I think if I can set an example at the Department of Agriculture like that, then maybe the next governor will say, you know, maybe we should do that with the Transportation Cabinet.
Right.
And that's how I want to lead as a conservative with the Department of Agriculture. That's one area, with transparency.
Thank you for explaining that. You also give priority to ideas such as adding value to Kentucky's existing farm products and producers, as well as helping out young farmers. The Kentucky Proud program seems to exemplify exactly what you hope to do. Those of us who are Kentucky fans and watch the games and listen to the radio always hear commercials about Kentucky Proud. Explain a little bit about this particular program and the importance that it holds.
The Kentucky Proud program is a huge success story for the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. Billy Ray Smith actually started it. It's just grown by leaps and bounds under current Commissioner Richie Farmer. His status as a UK basketball player and beloved celebrity has really helped propel the Kentucky Proud program, and it's something that's going to be a priority for me. There's so many vendors now. We're adding new vendors every day as Kentucky Proud vendors. This has increased markets for Kentucky farmers. It's also helped retailers. So many retailers are calling the department on a daily basis saying, we want to have a Kentucky Proud shelf at our store. And it's just, you're benefiting people in every way in Kentucky. The amount of money that's been spent through the department on marketing has a huge return on the investment for the taxpayers and the farmers in Kentucky. And that's something that I will continue to push as the next commissioner.
Okay. should you become the next commissioner of agriculture, you would be following a Republican.
Right.
So I'm going to assume that you probably agree with most of programs that Richie Farmer has implemented, supported, etc. But is there anything that you would like to enhance or just even change with the Department of Agriculture?
Well, there will be a lot of changes. Obviously, I've been involved in agriculture my entire life. I have legislative experience. I have a lot of ideas. I think I have a vision of agriculture that I invite people to my website to read about. One of the things that I want to have a priority on, well, actually two, we want to increase our exporting through marketing. As a farmer, I've exported cattle to Mexico and other countries. I'm a beef cattle producer. And I believe that we have a lot of opportunity in Kentucky in agriculture through exports. That's where the growth is. Obviously, China, India, the Caribbean, there are a lot of countries that I think, even Cuba, the Department of Ag went on a trade mission to Cuba a few years ago. I think that there are opportunities for exports that we've not really utilized our resources in the Department of Ag to help increase exports for farmers. That's one area. Another area, obviously exports benefit more larger farmers. To benefit the small farmers, I think there's an unlimited opportunity for organic farming in Kentucky. Even in Louisville at the 732 Social Restaurant and the different restaurants around Louisville that are 100% organic. The owners and the chefs there, they tell me they can't get enough organic products. And as commissioner, I want to work with small farmers that want to practice sustainable agriculture and that want to be organic farmers. To help them find the markets with the restaurants in the Louisville and Lexington areas.
Provide those things close to
absolutely.
home, so it's actually less expensive.
Exactly, exactly. We can produce anything in Kentucky, and we can produce it better in Kentucky than any other state. The problem our farmers have traditionally had is they don't have markets for those products, and that's what I want to work with and really increase the focus and awareness of organic farming in Kentucky.
Okay. Well, Jamie, I really appreciate this. I think most of us homegrown Kentuckians probably have some relative who has farming, just like my grandparents were tobacco farmers. Right. And it's just, I think it should be a priority of all Kentuckians to preserve the family farm, the small farmer. And I think this was a really good educational experience, and I really appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And ag literacy is something I want to increase in Kentucky, especially in the Louisville area. I think that we're producing children now that are the third and fourth generation removed from the farm, and they don't know where their food comes from. They don't know where eggs come from or where their milk comes from. So that's something I want to help increase ag literacy in Kentucky. So hopefully we can get that done.
Well, good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.